My name is Brian Morrison. I am 34 years old, and I am born and raised in Las Vegas. Being born and raised in Vegas, was kind of tough. Being diagnosed with cancer when I was a kid, life was tough because my parents constantly on drugs and drinking and those kind of things. And then when I went into the hospital, I was kind of there by myself because my parents were constantly running the streets and just kind of left me there with the hospital to take care of me. Only people I had there supporting me were my nurses, and didn't know what to do. I just felt like I had pretty much been forgotten about. A lot of the time going through what I was going through, it was a scary thing, being 6 years old and being in the hospital with cancer and nobody's there for you. It was tough, real tough. After fighting through cancer and beating cancer and years of chemotherapy, I was about 10 years old. My dad was, he was always a violent person, always getting into fights and things like that, and it landed him in prison when I was a kid, and that left my mom, who never worked a day of her life, with 5 kids and stranded on the street. I think some of the worst memories of being homeless as a kid were having to get up in the morning to get ready for school, dirty clothes, taking a little bird bath at the Burger King across the street. I was embarrassed to go to school. Things really never changed too much as a kid. I was able to set myself aside and say, you know what? No matter what kind of life you're thrown into, you don't have to live that life. You have a choice to make to separate yourself from what you've been put into. My entire life before coming to Central, church was never an option in my family. It was never even brought up. No religion, no nothing. And I'm like, I always wanted to try it out and I wanted to go and see what it was about, but my parents had always said, don't worry about it, that's nothing you need to be involved with. It's not real, it's fake, it's just made up. And when I decided I wanted to go to church is, why do people go to church? So I want to check it out for myself. And the first time that I really felt that I accepted Christ was coming here, and some of the things that Pastor Judd was talking about had a lot to do with my everyday life, and I just got chills across my whole body and said, you know what? That's me, that's my life. I'm not the only one that goes through these things. And that to me was God reaching out and saying, hey, you're here, you're in the right place, you're home. This is where you're supposed to be. Growing up and always seeing negative things in my life and knowing that there's something better out there, that something better is having faith and believing in God and believing in the Lord. This December, when All Is Bright was going on around Christmas time, we found out through Central that there was a family that had a son named Jake who was battling cancer, and they were struggling with the transportation side of things. When we found out about that, we just wanted to help that family out by donating a vehicle to them so they can have transportation to get back and forth to the doctor and hospital visits and things. Not only did it do a lot for them, but it did a lot for me as well. Knowing that I can help that family and help Jake and his family get back and forth to the doctor's visits. A big part of the reason why I like to give back to my community is because of all the people, when I was going through what I went through as a kid, gave to me, and that was huge for me. So any chance I get to give back to my community and people in my situation when I was a kid in the same situation, they need that help, and it impacts their life greatly.